4 cylinders, 2 banks, 1 legendary heartbeat. While most manufacturers chased conventional inline and V configurations, Subaru committed to something different, something that would define rally stages, tuner garages, and automotive passion for over 3 decades. This is the story of the Subaru EJ20 and EJ25, the boxer engines that didn't just power cars, they powered dreams, dominated championships, and created a cult following that refuses to fade. From muddy Welsh forests to suburban driveways, these horizontally opposed engines wrote their names in rally history and carved out a legacy that goes far beyond mere horsepower figures. To understand the EJ series, you first need to understand why Subaru chose the boxer layout when everyone else was following more conventional paths. The horizontally opposed engine design places cylinders flat, opposing each other across the crankshaft. This creates a naturally balanced configuration where the pistons move in opposite directions, canceling out vibrations that plague other engine types. But the real genius lies in the packaging. By sitting low in the chassis, the boxer engine dramatically lowers the car's center of gravity. In a world where handling dynamics separate the great from the good, this fundamental advantage would prove crucial on both rally stages and public roads. Subaru had experimented with boxer engines since the late 1960s, but it wasn't until the late 1980s that they began developing what would become their most celebrated power plant. The EJ series represented a clean-sheet approach, incorporating modern technologies like dual overhead camshafts, multi-port fuel injection, and eventually forced induction. In 1992, everything changed. Subaru introduced the World Rally Experimental, the WRX, and with it, the turbocharged EJ20G. This wasn't just an engine upgrade, it was a philosophy shift that would redefine what a compact sedan could be. The EJ20G produced 236 horsepower from its turbocharged 2.0-liter configuration, utilizing an IHI RHB5 turbocharger, and a compression ratio reduced to 8.0 to 1 to handle the forced induction. Combined with Subaru's symmetrical all-wheel drive system, the WRX delivered performance that embarrassed cars costing twice as much. But the WRX wasn't just about straight-line speed. The boxer engine's low center of gravity, combined with the all-wheel drive system, created handling characteristics that were unlike anything else in its class. Where other turbocharged cars might suffer from nose-heavy weight distribution, the WRX maintained balance and composure that made it equally capable on mountain roads and rally stages. The engine featured a sophisticated turbocharging system for its era, with an air-to-air intercooler and electronic boost control. The EJ20G ran approximately 11.6 psi of boost from the factory, though the engine's robust internals could handle significantly more with proper tuning. While the street-going WRX was impressive, it was merely a preview of what Subaru had planned for the World Rally Championship. In 1993, the Subaru Impreza WRC made its debut, powered by a highly tuned version of the EJ20. The rally-spec EJ20 was a masterpiece of engineering optimization. Running around 300 horsepower in Group A trim, these engines featured forged internals, aggressive camshaft profiles, and turbocharging systems designed to deliver massive power across a broad RPM range. The anti-lag systems kept the turbochargers spooled, even when drivers lifted off the throttle, creating the distinctive backfiring sound that became synonymous with Subaru rally cars. Colin McRae's partnership with Subaru began in the early 1990s, and together they wrote one of rally's greatest success stories. McRae's driving style, aggressive, committed, and spectacular, perfectly matched the EJ20's characteristics. The engine could handle the abuse of rally stages while delivering the power and torque needed to launch the Impreza through forests at impossible speeds. McRae won 16 rallies with Subaru, including his World Championship victory in 1995. But it wasn't just McRae. The entire Subaru team dominated the WRC throughout the 1990s, with the EJ20-powered Impreza winning 3 consecutive manufacturers' championships from 1995 to 1997. The success continued into the 2000s with drivers like Peter Solberg, who became the first Norwegian to win the Drivers' World title in 2003. The Norwegian's flamboyant style and the EJ20's reliable power delivery proved to be a winning combination. As emission regulations tightened and the demand for more torque grew, Subaru developed the EJ25, a 2.5-liter evolution of the Boxer concept. The EJ25 stretched the stroke from 75 mm to 79 mm, while maintaining the same 99.5 mm bore as later EJ20 variants, creating 2,457 cc's of displacement. The EJ25 came in numerous variations, from naturally aspirated versions producing around 165 horsepower to highly tuned turbocharged variants pushing over 300 horsepower. The most famous application was in the STI models, where the EJ25-7 became the heart of Subaru's ultimate performance machines. WRX STI models between 2004 and 2007 featured the 300 horsepower version of the EJ25-7, while STI models between 2008 and 2018 CT output jumped to 305 horsepower. The additional displacement provided more low-end torque, making the cars more drivable in everyday conditions while maintaining the high RPM performance that enthusiasts demanded. The EJ25 featured numerous improvements over its smaller displacement sibling. Strengthened internals, improved oil systems, and more sophisticated engine management allowed these engines to handle higher boost pressures and more aggressive tuning. The semi-closed deck block design provided additional strength for high-power applications. Throughout their development, the EJ series engines incorporated cutting-edge technologies that kept them competitive across 3 decades. Variable valve timing systems, electronic throttle control, and sophisticated turbocharging setups all found their way into various EJ configurations. The introduction of the VF series turbochargers brought improved response and efficiency. These turbos, developed specifically for Subaru applications, featured ball bearings and advanced impeller designs that reduced lag while increasing peak power output. The VF39 and VF43 turbos, found in later STI models, could support over 350 horsepower with proper supporting modifications. Subaru's AVCS, active valve control system, allowed for variable intake cam timing, improving both low-end torque and high RPM power. This system, combined with the inherent balance of the Boxer design, created engines that were both tractable and thrilling. Perhaps no engine series has had a more profound impact on tuner culture than the EJ20 and EJ25. The combination of robust internals, sophisticated turbocharging, and all-wheel drive capability created the perfect platform for modification. The aftermarket support for EJ engines is staggering. Companies like Cobb, Perrin, and Tomei developed entire product lines dedicated to extracting more performance from these engines. From simple intake and exhaust modifications to complete engine rebuilds with forged internals, the EJ platform accommodated virtually any performance goal. The engine's strong bottom ends meant that significant power gains were possible with bolt-on modifications. A simple tune, intake, and exhaust could add 50 to 60 horsepower to a stock WRX. More aggressive modifications, including larger turbochargers, upgraded fuel systems, and engine management, could push these engines well beyond 400 horsepower on pump gas. For those seeking even more extreme performance, the EJ platform has proven capable of handling over 600 horsepower with proper preparation. Forged pistons, rods, and crankshafts, combined with closed-decked block modifications, have enabled some builders to extract over 700 horsepower from these 2.0 and 2.5-liter engines. The community that grew around EJ-powered cars is unlike anything else in the automotive world. NASIOC, or North American Subaru Impreza Owners Club, became one of the Internet's largest automotive forums, with hundreds of thousands of members sharing tuning advice, troubleshooting tips, and modification ideas.
While WRC's success put the EJ engines on the map, their racing applications extended far beyond rallying. In Super GT racing, highly tuned EJ20 engines powered the Subaru Legacy B4 to multiple victories. These engines, producing over 500 horsepower, demonstrated the platform's adaptability to different racing disciplines. The engines found success in grassroots motorsports as well. Time attack events, hill climbs, and circuit racing all saw EJ-powered Subarus competing at the highest levels. The combination of all-wheel drive traction and the low center of gravity provided by the Boxer engine created natural advantages on track. In drag racing, the EJ platform proved capable of impressive times. While not traditionally considered drag racing engines, properly prepared EJ25 engines have achieved quarter-mile times in the low 10-second range, demonstrating their versatility across different racing applications.
The EJ series wasn't without its challenges. Head gasket failures became a well-known issue, particularly on naturally aspirated EJ25 engines. The combination of aluminum heads and cast iron blocks, along with the horizontally opposed design, created unique thermal stresses that early gasket designs couldn't always handle. Subaru addressed these issues through improved gasket designs and revised torque specifications. Multi-layer steel gaskets replaced the original composite designs, providing better sealing under the thermal cycling these engines experienced. Oil starvation under high G-forces was another challenge, particularly in racing applications. The horizontally opposed design meant that oil could pool away from the pickup under sustained cornering. Subaru and aftermarket companies developed solutions, including modified oil pans, AccuSump systems, and improved baffle designs. Despite these challenges, the fundamental strengths of the EJ design, its balance, low center of gravity, and robust bottom end, far outweighed any negatives. Most issues could be addressed with proper maintenance and quality parts, making these engines extremely reliable when cared for correctly. The EJ family tree is complex, with dozens of variants serving different markets and applications. The EJ205 and EJ255 became the backbone of the North American WRX lineup, while JDM markets received more exotic variants like the EJ207. In 2017, Subaru released the WRX STI S208, limited to 450 units, sold only for the Japanese market. The S208 used a 2.0-liter EJ20 engine tuned to 329 horsepower. These limited edition models pushed the boundaries of what was possible with the EJ architecture, incorporating lessons learned from decades of development and racing. The EJ207, found in Japanese STI models, featured a closed-deck block design and more aggressive tuning than its export counterparts. Power output is 270 PS, 199 kilowatts, 266 bhp at 6,800 RPM for the Japanese versions, and 300 PS, 221 kilowatts, 296 bhp for the V3 STI with VF23 turbo. These engines represented the peak of EJ development, with every component optimized for maximum performance. The impact of the EJ20 and EJ25 extends far beyond their mechanical specifications. These engines became cultural touchstones, symbols of a certain type of automotive enthusiasm that values substance over flash, performance over prestige. The sound of a turbocharged EJ engine is instantly recognizable. The rumbling idle created by the unequal length headers, the whoosh of the turbocharger spooling, and the distinctive exhaust note that no other engine configuration can replicate. This auditory signature became the soundtrack for a generation of enthusiasts. Movies, video games, and popular culture embraced the EJ-powered WRX and STI. From Initial D to Gran Turismo, these cars and their distinctive engines became icons that introduced millions to the world of performance driving. The ownership experience was equally important. EJ-powered cars required more involvement than typical appliances. They needed to be warmed up properly, treated with respect, and maintained with care. This created a deeper connection between owner and machine that is increasingly rare in today's automotive landscape. After more than 3 decades of production, Subaru gradually phased out the EJ series in favor of newer FA and FB engines. The final EJ257-powered STI rolled off the production line in 2021, marking the end of an era. The newer engines brought improvements in efficiency, emissions, and technology, but many enthusiasts felt that something intangible was lost in the transition. The EJ series had a character, a personality that made them more than mere power plants. They were the heart and soul of the Subaru experience. The discontinuation of the EJ series marked the end of an era in automotive history. These engines represented a time when manufacturers were willing to prioritize performance and character over efficiency and cost-cutting. The influence of the EJ20 and EJ25 extends far beyond Subaru's lineup. The success of these engines in rallying inspired other manufacturers to develop their own high-performance compact sedans. The blueprint established by the WRX, turbocharged engine, all-wheel drive, practical body, became the template for an entire generation of performance cars. The tuning culture that grew around EJ engines influenced the entire aftermarket industry. The success of companies like Cobb and their Access Sport tuning systems showed that there was a massive market for user-friendly performance modifications. This approach has since been adopted across the industry. The engines also influenced Subaru's corporate identity. The rally success and enthusiast following created by EJ-powered cars transformed Subaru from a niche manufacturer into a global performance brand. The Love campaign and emphasis on adventure and capability all trace their roots back to the reputation built by these boxer engines. Today, pristine examples of EJ-powered WRX and STI models are increasingly sought after by collectors. The 22B, with its EJ22G engine, has achieved legendary status, with clean examples selling for 6-figure sums. Even regular production models are appreciating in value as enthusiasts recognize their historical significance. The knowledge and expertise built around EJ engines won't disappear overnight. Independent workshops specializing in these engines continue to thrive, supporting the thousands of EJ-powered cars still on the road. The aftermarket continues to develop new products, ensuring that these engines can be maintained and modified for years to come. Engine swaps using EJ power plants remain popular, with these engines finding new homes in everything from classic cars to off-road vehicles. The combination of compact packaging, reasonable weight, and serious performance potential makes them ideal for custom applications. The Subaru EJ20 and EJ25 represent more than just a chapter in automotive history. They represent a philosophy. In an era of increasing complexity and disconnection, these engines offered something pure: the joy of mechanical symphony, the satisfaction of earned performance, and the community that comes from shared passion. They proved that you didn't need exotic materials or astronomical horsepower numbers to create something legendary. What you needed was sound engineering, racing pedigree, and the courage to be different. The horizontally opposed layout wasn't chosen because it was easy, it was chosen because it was right. From rally stages to suburban streets, from weekend warriors to professional racers, the EJ series touched millions of lives. They created memories, forged friendships, and inspired a level of devotion that few engines have ever achieved. As we move into an era of electric motors and hybrid systems, the rumbling heartbeat of the EJ Boxer engine serves as a reminder of what we're leaving behind. These weren't just engines, they were the soundtrack to automotive passion, the mechanical embodiment of the idea that the journey matters as much as the destination. The EJ20 and EJ25 didn't just power cars. They powered dreams, and that legacy, that spirit of enthusiast-focused engineering and uncompromising performance will outlast any production timeline. In garages around the world, the distinctive rumble of the Subaru Boxer engine continues to echo, a testament to the idea that some things are too special to be forgotten. The next time you hear that unmistakable sound, the offbeat rumble of unequal length headers feeding a turbocharged flat four, remember that you're hearing more than just an engine. You're hearing 3 decades of rally victories, countless late-night tuning sessions, and the mechanical heartbeat of one of automotive history's greatest success stories. This is the legacy of the Subaru EJ20 and EJ25. Not just great engines, but engines that became legends.